Rejection feels overwhelming. Rejection discourages our flow of love within. Rejection imprisons our fullness because rejection denies our truth. Rejection rejects our truth. And when we reject our truth, that we are brilliance of love within, we feel rejection from the other more strongly. But when we honour the brilliance of love within, rejection from the other is met with only love. It is met with only allowance. It is met with only presence of all that we are. And that presence honours the other. That presence freely welcomes the opinion of the other. But that rejection does not infiltrate your being. That rejection does not stick to who you are. That rejection cannot stick to who you are, because you are free. You are free within, and that means that you are free to allow that opinion of who you are to flow through you, not to stick to you, not to define you, not to remotely connect to your truth at all, only to allowingly flow freely through you. And when you allow the opinion of another to flow freely through you, no longer is it received as rejection. You see, rejection can only be received as rejection if you reject the rejection. But if you allow the opinions of others, if you freely honour the opinion of others, but refuse their entry to your fullness, then they are not rejections after all. They are simply opinions of the mind. And what are opinions of the mind, if not illusions of the all? Remember that opinions are these fears, really. They are fears that we are not the same. They are fears that we are different. And that difference is only fearful when you are forgetful that you are love. Because love has no fear. Love has no rejection of fear. Love has no dishonouring of fear. Love has no regard for fear. Love and fear are the opposite of one another. Love and fear are dualistic expressions of the all. love and fear, they are one. They are connected. They are together. They are married. They are partners. They are sourcing their existence from one another. My opinion might not be your opinion. It might not be anything like your opinion. And that's okay. Oh, it's totally okay. It's so okay that it brings me so much freedom to even suggest that that is okay. My opinion does not have to be anything like your opinion. And I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay if your opinion is completely different to mine. And I'm only okay with that because I am love. And love allows the all. I only allow into my fullness that which serves me, just as I recommend you do. I only allow into my beingness that which represents who I am. And I highly recommend you do the same too. It's this flow without allowing anything to connect to your fullness that does not serve it. It's that freedom to let go that brings me back to rejection. An opinion is only rejection. An action or a non-action is only rejection if you are unable to differentiate it from who you are. If you are unable to let that energy, if you like, be released. So really, rejection is an illusion. Rejection is simply someone else dishonoring all that they are. Because if they were honoring their truth, if they were honoring their fullness, then they would be allowing you the freedom of yours. So when you are rejected, either through words or actions or even silence, as the case may be, then remember that they cannot be rejecting who you are. For who you are is beyond rejection. Who you are cannot ever be rejected. Because how can you reject what is? How can you deny what is? No, what they are rejecting, or more accurately, what they are denying, is their truth, is their oneness, is their freedom within. Because as far or as long as you are rejecting, you are not free within. Because rejection is a block. It is a block to the flow of freedom within. Rejection is a denial of another, of a wisdom, of a truth, of a beauty, of a fullness, of a difference. Does that make sense, to see how rejection of another is a block within yourself? It may feel like you are protecting yourself, perhaps, by rejecting another. It may feel as if you are honouring yourself by rejecting another, honouring your desires, or honouring your comprehension, or honouring your understanding. But the true way to honour who you are, the true way to honour your freedom, is not to reject the other, but to allow the all. Can you imagine if, instead of rejecting our differences, if we allowed them? Can you imagine if, instead of dishonouring each other's brilliance, that we allowed it to glow brilliantly? Wow, the world would be so beautiful. We would all be so beautiful. Perfection is nothing other than freely welcoming the all. It is nothing other than freely honouring all that you are within. And how could you ever be expected to allow another their freedom within if you cannot first allow that within yourself? Goes the same for rejection. If you cannot first free yourself from rejection within, how can you offer that same freedom from rejection to another? Yesterday I received an email from my father, who has been an enormous teacher for me on my journey, freely accepting my truth, freely honouring who I was, freely welcoming that brilliance within me to shine in my way, with my voice, with my expression of love that I am. It's such a gift. It was such a gift to read that email and to allow the energy within that email to infiltrate my being, because the energy within that email was received as light, and that light has a place in a being of love, because it feeds my soul, it illuminates my brilliance even more. It honours my truth. And so I let that light in. I let that light flow through me and harbour within me, intensifying the brilliance that I am. But let's say I was to open another email, an email that offered not words of allowance, but words of rejection, well, I would still freely allow those words to flow in, but instead of harbouring them within me, instead of inviting them to stick to my being, I would watch them flow in, and I would invite them to flow out. I have not allowed them to create a block to my flow by rejecting the rejection within me. No, I have allowed that opinion, that illusion of the mind, to flow in and flow out. And in that way, I no longer receive those rejections as any form of darkness within me. No. I honour them, their opinion. I welcome them, their thoughts. I allow them their own truth, but not as that mine, so not as it mine to own or keep or withhold within. So I let it go. It's not mine. It doesn't belong to me. It has nothing to do with who I am. So I freely give it back, or let it go, or simply pretend it never was. For truly, it never was anything to begin with, but an illusion of the mind. Thank you.